E-FDP, titled Unleashing Research Potential, Global Trends and Practices. On behalf of Galgotias University, we welcome Professor Shyamala Doraisamy, Department of Multimedia, Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology from University Patra, Malaysia. Professor Shyamala received her doctoral degree from Imperial College London in 2004, specializing in the field of music information retrieval, and is the head of the Digital Information Computation and Retrieval Research Group at UPM. She is currently an honorary research fellow at the College of Science, School of Computer Science, University of Lincoln, United Kingdom. Her research area includes interesting multi-modal machine learning, multimedia information processing, machine listening, and music information retrieval, focusing in particular on sound analysis, and has completed several projects on music and health application. She is a member of Malaysian Society of Information Retrieval and Knowledge Management, and was the General Chair of IEEE 2018, Fourth International Conference on Information Retrieval and Knowledge Management. Also, Professor Shyamala has won an award for a music and computing innovation, content-based music retrieval with n-grams and a music-friendly interface at the Invention and New Product Exposition, Pittsburgh, USA in 2007. Currently, Professor Shyamala is the institutional partner lead for 2 EU Horizon 2020 Marie Curie Actions, Research and Innovation Staff Exchange Program Consortia, working on multimodal data processing for road safety and collision avoidance, coordinated by University of Lincoln, UK. She has been an invited speaker at various conferences and research meetings internationally, and more recently at EURISEX Asian events on international research. Today, Professor Shyamala will be addressing the area of exploring international research project collaborations and agencies, and I'm sure that our participants will get an exposure on the research project collaboration and agencies at international level. That's all from my side. Over to you, Professor Shyamala.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sharma. Thank you for that introduction. Yes, so I will just share my screen first. Let's see whether it comes up. Okay, let me just do this. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am, we can see you.
All right, okay, let me just try to open it up. Yes. All right, yes. Thank you very much for the introduction and this opportunity to share my experience on exploring international research project collaborations and agencies. And this is a wonderful grand program of the Global E-Faculty FDP, Unleashing Research Potential, Global Trends and Practices. Yes, I saw all the outline and talks that have been going on these past few days. And I hope to share my experience on international collaboration. That's me there, Shyamala. As I was introduced just now, I'm in the Department of Multimedia, Faculty of Computer Science and IT, UPM. I'm also the head of the Digital Information Computation and Retrieval Research Group. You can look it up, what we do there on large management of large scale documents, multimedia, text, audio, video, and so on. Basically information retrieval that has moved on to multimedia information retrieval. So that's what the group does. And I'm also an honorary research fellow now after my secondment and collaboration on the 2 EU projects from 2018 to 2020. So when I left, they gave me an honorary research fellowship. And as the projects are going on at the moment. So today, the aim I was given as the talk, what's the aim of today's session? The aim of the session is to guide students, faculty, research scholars for exploring research projects, collaborations, and agencies. Yes, that was the task at hand given to me. So I will try, and the outline today, so I've decided maybe 20, maybe 20 minutes of what I've done, and then maybe look at the agencies. I'm not going to be saying I'm the master of all the funding agencies, because I will only speak about the funding agencies that I have tried and also failed, and also the ones I have actually succeeded. So it's a long-term investment and time actually. So sometimes it happens quickly with international research. You are there at the right time at the right time, and so on, and the right person. Or sometimes it's after a few trials. So I will talk about the path that I took before I'm on with the current ongoing collaborations on these two projects. So at the moment, I'm with the Marie Sklodowska Career Actions MSCA Research and Staff Exchange, and which is known as just the MSCA Staff Exchange now. It is no longer the RISE. I'll talk about a little bit, and then about my secondment and some related activities to share my experience with this large-scale project, and then a little bit on the agencies that I have tried international funding, because I'll in particular talk about the Newton, the UKRI, and then of course the MSCA itself. So these will be. So as I said, the first 20 minutes maybe or less, I'm not too sure how fast I talk or too long. Anyway, the background is today I'll talk about the project that I'm involved in with this large-scale consortia. The MSCA offers funding for short-term international and intersectoral exchanges of staff members involved in research and innovation activities of participating organizations. The aim of this action is to develop sustainable collaborative projects between different organizations from the academic and non-academic sectors, in particular SMEs based in Europe and beyond. Exchange staff benefit from new knowledge, skills, and career development perspectives, while participating organizations increase their research and innovations capacities. So a little bit on the projects that I'm involved in. Sometimes there's little tabs. The consortia involvement. I'm involved as the UPM's partner lead and experienced researcher for two consortia at the moment. So I said I'll talk about these first, so that will give you because it'll give you a hands-on on how these things work when we talk about international collaboration. So for two consortia funded by EU's Horizon 2020, MSCA RISE. As I said just now, MSCA RISE is now named as MSCA SE, the latest updates on it. I'll show you the links and also the talks that was given on these staff exchange programs. So the projects that I'm working on at the moment is Ultracept, and Step to Diner was at the tail end. I was there and at the tail end of the project, which was concurrently going on, and we were included as a partner as well. So for these projects, if you for these type of large consortia, if you I just going to put in some. Hopefully I can get. I've shared the screen. I hope you will. When I put in this link, just let me know whether you're able to see it. I think I need to stop share and share again, because I don't know why I don't go. Yes. So this is a little bit on taking you to the website itself, where you can see the EU projects and how these are the objectives of the projects, the partners. So as I said, it's a large-scale consortia. So this I'm going to talk, of course, we are sometimes, whether we're going to go large-scale or whether we're going to just go into small projects, that I will go towards the end. I'm just going to talk, I will show you some links on UKRI as well, where you can also, and postdocs and PhD. So just to show you that this is an 16 with 3 robotics partners, and I'm just trying to get to UPM actually. So do you see my website now? Are you seeing my screen?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, sorry, I was toggling between. So if I don't see, I'm trying just now to show the within the same screen, but it didn't come out. All right. But anyway, so this is the websites for the projects and the funders and the details and how much funding was given and what it's about. So of course, when with 18 partners, we are talking about chat. Yes, ma'am, thanks. All right, we are talking about large-scale collaboration, work packages. So what is it that you do inside here? What do you contribute? So that is another thing that I'll talk about, how we work on work packages. And so we all work towards that one aim. So this is, as I said, I will start off with the large-scale project first, and then of course going on to smaller proposals. Stop share, and let me go back to my okay, let me, sorry. It is Zoom, right? Okay, yes, share, and let me open that again. Yeah, I hope you're seeing my slides now. All right, so that is the one, and then the other project which I was, it has just ended, the Step to Diner project. So these are the two projects that we're talking about international collaboration. Here we're talking about large-scale collaboration. The MSCA can be three partners is the minimum, and the lead partner has to be from, of course, European Union, but with a bit of leeway with UK as the lead partner, because we just submitted another one as well as the lead partner. Consortium background, mine, as I said, it's highly multidisciplinary. Research is coordinated by Professor Shigang Yu, managed by a research management board comprising representatives from each of the partners. The research management board is chaired by the project coordinator and will carry out the executive management of the research program and the administrative functions of the research. It will initially comprise one member from each partner. As I showed you, we have 18 partners or 16 partners added to at the last changes. Partners were added. So these are a large number of partners that have to be coordinated very closely. As for my role in the consortium, I was appointed as a member of the board representing UPM. So for this, you can also, hopefully, you can see the blocks and all the activities that take place. This is to show you a large-scale collaboration. Again, I might have to toggle again, I'm not sure. All right, sorry, share screen. So, yeah, so this will be the UltraCEP project, the website and the blog, the workshops that take place, and all the activities that have taken place, and all the publications and dissemination and so on. So these are what is this? This the UltraCEP. Similarly, you have what is this for the Step to Diner as well. Okay. Yeah. So those are the projects that I'm involved in a little bit. So how did I get involved? Basically the background for this particular project, innovative solution with brain-inspired layered and multiple modalities information processing for trustworthy vehicle collision detection. It takes the advantages of low-cost spatial, temporal, and parallel computing capacity of bio-inspired visual neural systems and multiple modalities. So, and extracting potential collision cues at complex weather and lighting conditions. This interdisciplinary project includes collaboration with biologists, computer scientists, and engineers working on technologies such as insect vision systems, neural systems, robotics technologies, and autonomous systems. So UPM has been working on the theme of, for our involvement, I'll be talking from my perspective. The tasks assigned to UPM were mainly based on the work packages with WP2 and WP4. The team has focused in particular on contributions to develop long-range hazard perception methods coping with low light conditions. So how did I try to formulate working together on this project? So I collaboratively formulated a PhD research work and co-supervised by Professor Shigang Yu as well. So the tasks that we completed have largely been based on collaborative PhD research work being co-supervised by UPM and UOL. There are different ways where people are collaborating, because some are actually the beneficiary partners, then their contributions are different. But I'm just trying to say how we collaborate and work on small parts towards achieving the main goal. So for such a large project, it will be all small little sections that 18 partners work with. So UPM, the first phase investigated the use of sound data for road based on my sound analysis and multimodal data processing, road readiness levels, estimation to support the development of long-range hazard methods. This work continues to investigate the audiovisual technologies for this task. So the large-scale consortium, industry partners from UK, Germany, Japan, China, Argentina, and Malaysia. Amongst the aims of the MSCA RISE are knowledge creation, sharing know-how, and skills development. These are valuable opportunities for research groups in early growth stages to expand and build world-class research labs, working with a large pool of researchers at different stages in their careers. Right. So for me, I started with my group, which is the Digital Information Computation and Retrieval Research Group, a small lab. The MSA RISE secondments also provides research teams access to facilities and equipment. So building a consortium, experience as a RISE consortium member. Initial process, how did I get involved in this? Is getting involved with the consortium based on a sabbatical attachment at University of Lincoln. I was attached there on a sabbatical leave in 2015. I gave a lot of presentations and talks about what, of course, when you, what I need to highlight here is when you get attachment, you have to keep talking, give talks, presentations on what you do so people will know, and they will be able to, if they're interested, they will try to probably develop a project where they can actually use your expertise as well to develop either something new or enhance what is being done. So at that point in 2015, so I was doing my sabbatical there. And so that's a lot of presentations and discussions of potential collaboration opportunities based on my expertise. And these continued 2015 and 2016 when I returned to Malaysia, and we continued to talk how we can collaborate. So beneficiary partners and other participating partners, the beneficiary partners in this consortium had already established. As I said, sometimes these are groups that are working many years together. In fact, when I was in 2015, they were working on the hazard project. I was there as well through at the tail end of the hazard project. These are continuing projects. So these are projects, once it is ended, then because these projects continue to develop. So it starts with, let's say, insect vision and collision avoidance, and then how we use it probably in autonomous vehicles. So then another project is developed, and the projects grow and also the partners grow. So this, the initial group, or they have been working for many years together, and new partners are included. So beneficiary partners in this consortium had already established an interdisciplinary collaborative working group across various institutions over the past several years. So other partners, participating partners like UPM, were invited to join the consortium based on international research networking activities. So sometimes it is a long-term relationship. So, and sometimes, as I said, projects you can what is this? Work on somebody's project is already available, or you can propose. So there are two ways how you actually collaborate. So I will tell about how I initially as well collaborated for my PhD, because I had all these ideas and I was just throwing out all these ideas, and some of it might have been crazy, but still I think somebody picks it up, and we will. I'll just talk about it later a little bit. But here I spoke about what I'm able to do, and the consortium. What is this? Works on the packages, the work packages. So initial stages. Proposal submission is largely led by the project coordinator and beneficiary partners. A letter of commitment is obtained from participating partners, institutions, and organizations for the proposal submission. So first, we have to, when we work with international organization and external partners, you're not working alone. You are actually representing the university. So you're not in your little bubble, but you have to the involvement of the vice chancellor to the deputy vice chancellor of research and the research management center have all got to collaborate, because we are talking about project and IP and data sharing. So a lot of agreements, MOUs, MOAs, partnership agreements, IP rights, and so on. So these, in the first instance, of course, is the letter of commitment. So if I am not able to, the university will have to agree that that we are commit to, because once it's submitted, and then there is no partners to actually follow up. The partner doesn't follow up with the work and so on. So a letter of commitment is first obtained, participating in partners, institutions, and for the proposal submission. So as I said, 2015, 2016, I came back. Oh yes, we are trying to submit. I got all the letter of commitment, and it took almost this project. It took 2017 or something. After 1 year, suddenly I get an email that this project has been approved, and it's like almost forgotten as well. So we are submitting, yeah, it takes a long process, because from the time of letter of commitment, 2016, 2017, I can't remember, but it took like almost a year before actually the partnership agreement is completed, and all the partners have to sign and has to be sealed and so on. So any future amendments to the agreement would also involve all partners. So for example, whether we extend the project or whether we add another partner, for example, as I mentioned just now, I think there was a robotics industry that was added after the agreement was signed, but all partners have to sign. So it has to go through the whole process of going through the university and the research management center and so on before the agreement is again finalized. So these are for large scale projects. For any projects that is on international collaboration, of course, it has to go through agreements and partnerships through your own institution. So maintaining, I'll just talk about how we maintain this collaboration, because after a while, with this number of partners and people working together, someone be lost in space and so on. And so secondment implementation, this particular project works on secondment, so which means that staff, all partners will have to leave your home institution and work collaboratively in one or more of the partners' institutions. So out of the 18 partners, you will have to actually be seconded. If not, the project will not actually be considered successful. So sometimes, so you can imagine what happened. I will go through a little bit of what happened with the setbacks here and COVID, and the number of partners who couldn't make it for the secondments and so on, and a lot of mitigation and contingency plans and discussions onto how some other partners could take over and so on the secondment plans, because this works on secondments where you have to leave your home institution and be attached at the partner institutions. So secondment, and you work on the task based on work packages to be completed. So each partner will be given a number of secondment months, where you, for example, UPM was given 36 months. So it was 36 months can be used within any number of staff or students from from University Putrajaya Malaysia. So I will let you know in a while who are the staff and students who completed our tasks on WP2 and WP4. I won't say completed because, as I said, there's some extension discussions and also how it is all integrated WP6 at the end. So working closely with project coordinator, I need to highlight, and project manager. One other thing here, review meetings, possible opportunities as well, as I said, follow-up grants with successful completion. Step to Diner, HAZAP, Step to Diner now with UltraCept, and hopefully we are submitting something else as well. Or working closely with project coordinator and project manager. Sometimes I need to emphasize the project manager and the importance. Sorry, chat. Okay, I'm just looking at, please share. All right, okay, I'm just looking at the chat, sorry. Okay, just in case I missed something.
Ma'am, we will be sharing the feedback link soon.
No all right, thank you. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so this project manager who works in all our research meetings, and because sometimes what happens is that we researchers work together and we are focused on our research, and we forget the amount of administrative work, especially when it comes to something, how we, whether we miss our timelines and so on. So project manager, which works very closely coordinating, is highly important, working with the administration, as I said, not only the researchers, as I meant, working with the research management center, the coordination that takes place is also very extensive. So setbacks, contingency and mitigation plans with work delays, these are things, transfer or redistribution of workload, funders, coordinators, project managers, and researchers working even more closely. So just a little bit. So I'm going to now go a little bit. That was just a bit of background of what these projects and the number of partners and who are working together. So members from University Putra Malaysia, seconded for, as I said, 36 months between the three of us, and working around. So home institutions, staff and students from the department, from my group, the ICR research group, which I'm heading, Siawash, which is my PhD student. So he goes in as an early stage researcher, and Azrin Azman, who is an experienced researcher, who is also co-supervising the project. So three of us were seconded at University of Lincoln to complete our work packages. So benefits, contributions, knowledge sharing sessions with workshops, and as I showed you just now, all the activities that took place, or discussed, are also put on the blogs and for dissemination. Sandpit sessions, sandpit, everybody just throwing ideas, however crazy it may be, but you can just put it in meetings and other research related activities. So basically emerging bio-inspired machine learning, multimedia information processing being developed by partners. Working collaboratively, so benefits, collaborative at an international level. Facilities and equipment for us, for our case, was controlled data collection of tire sounds at Millbrook Proving Ground. Contributions, data sharing, audiovisual data needed, we've published it as well for testing, evaluating hazard perception systems, collaborative publication. So these are some of the things that we were doing while we were seconded, our project workshop and project meeting at Cambridge. And then this, as I said, was the data collection for our road testing. So the equipment and was purchased under the grant, and we were at Millbrook. So these are the facilities and equipment that we were using, which was made available with the grant. As I said, we have to be at the partner institution. So this was very difficult. You can see, I think there before the pandemic, our data collection completely stopped as well. This was day, wet, dry, control data before and after the lockdown. So these was the control data at Millbrook. Yes, that's me after highly stressed. So these are the facilities and equipment that I mentioned that we were able to do whilst being seconded. So these were the things that, so just a little bit about the project as well. I'm going to put you on to a little bit of introduction to YouTube. And before I left, after the secondment, this was done. So I'll just show you. Hopefully I can, okay, I'm going to stop now. Uh, wait, will it take it?
The target of StepDiner is
I have to stop share and share screen. Do you see that?
of StepDiner is to build a sensor system that can be used by UAV for collision detection in dynamic environment.
So collision detection is highly important. If not, we're going to be running into accidents all over the world, isn't it? From our role, we are looking at audiovisual technologies, automatically sensing collision objects that is potentially dangerous, that is going to cause a collision.
My role is to apply collision.
Oh, I went too far, sorry.
The target of StepDiner is to build a sensor system that can be used by UAV for collision detection in dynamic environment.
So collision detection is highly important.
Sorry, I think I got the...
If not, we're going to be running into...
Okay, I think I got the wrong video because I wanted to show about the global partnerships as well. Sorry about that. Okay, but that is the... Sorry, let me just go there a little bit. Yeah, just give me a minute, sorry.
Autonomous vehicle has a great future for human society because it can see 2020 project, the data processing inspired insects. Ultraceptor project has 4 technical work package. The first work package is to do.
Okay. I wanted to just show that.
My job is to make...
Sorry, it's okay. But anyway, that's the basic idea because I wanted to show actually about the global partnerships and the global partners that work together. Sorry. Okay, let me just try one more time.
In the city, there are lots of buildings and people are moving and lots of wires. And I hope the results of our StepDiner project can help even smaller UAV can fly safely within cities and can help people to deliver things to the society safely. The target of StepDiner is UAV for very wide expertise the society safely.
Okay. Sorry about that. Share the screen. Stop share. But I just wanted to show a little bit on the collision avoidance by the insect vision. All right, let me just a little bit just do that, and then I'll just try one more time. If it comes through, it comes through.
In the city, there are lots of buildings and people are moving and lots of...
Stop share. Sorry. YouTube. Okay, I'm just going to put that.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Professor.
Sorry. Get it? You do?
I think there is some network lag.
Oh, I see.
Yes,
All right.
there is some network lag. Yes.
Yeah, I'll try one more time. If you don't see, then we'll just move on. Right?
We can
let me
see the video also. We can also see the video, and we can also hear the sound that you have shared.
Yeah.
But there is some network lag.
Oh, okay. Now, we'll just see the global partnership a little bit, and then we will just stop and see.
Fine.
You
may replay. No problem.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wait. Escape. Stop share. All right. Because I just wanted to show you about the biologists working together and things. Share. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to just...
The targets of very helpful because they have the right expertise we need, and also we can exchange our skills and knowledge and to help each other and expand our own expertise to another area. This is very helpful in this project.
I'm a neurobiologist and a zoologist. I look at the neural mechanisms underlying vision in insects. And my role in the project is that I found that the locust is exquisitely sensitive to looming objects, and other partners in the consortium who are engineers or computer scientists can take some of the facts that we found about how the circuit works and make artificial collision detectors and explore what is important.
I'm a researcher from the University of Buenos Aires. I'm a biologist, so we are studying neurons that detect collision, and we have been exploring relatively simple animals as crabs and insects in order to find how they process key visual information. My role in this project is to understand how the animals process visual stimuli, in particular how they perform good collision detection, what type of neurons they use, how are these neurons connected. And the idea is to extract from these natural solutions algorithms that we can later use for commanding robots.
So collision detection is highly important. If not, we're going to be running into accidents all over the world, isn't it? From our role, we are looking at audiovisual technologies, automatically sensing collision objects.
Yeah.
Babies.
All right.
My role is to apply clean detecting neural networks onto UAV.
Okay, thank you. All right, that is just to highlight that everyone contributes, and we have different people working together, developing new artificial neural networks for vision in particular. So it's insect visions and not what is this, because how we can see the 360 degrees and so on. So which neurons are activated and so on. So, but this is the large scale, these are the types of project work that is going on. And so our part was just looking at maybe we can hear as well. And we have got the current ongoing work that is going on our down-facing camera and so on. Yeah, so I think I'll just move on and finish off a little bit more. Okay, and then here, let me just share screen. So stop share screen here. Okay, all right. Okay, so from there, we, as I said, was mainly based on our students' work, and we got a collaborative publication. This was us there at the group at UOL. And coming back to Malaysia, we are still continuing to collaborate. So the project is a 4-year project, and we continue to work on it. So, but just showing that how 18 partners can work together. At the same time, I just want to highlight that when we were just beginning this project on MSCA. I have also been working with the medical faculty on two other projects. What is this collaborations? Medical faculty at UPM. I hope you are seeing my screen this time. So we got another grant, which is that one. The other grant is the Erasmus, which is the capacity building in the field of higher education. This is slightly different. So the thing is, I was at the same time at UK, so I passed it on to another colleague. So this was attended the kickoff meeting for this project. This is for capacity building. Basically, this is for medical education and developing learning objects. So as I was, for this project, you have to be back at with Erasmus. It's not secondment, but you have to be back at your home institution. So as I was seconded at that point, so I couldn't be collaborating with two projects at that time because I have to come back, and it's capacity and capacity training, which means that you have to come back to your home institution and train and continue to develop the the ideas that have been outlined. So I had, for this project, I passed it on to my colleague from my group as well, Nurul Emelina, and she continued, and this project is almost coming to an end, and we won some awards for it as well. So building an international, I thought meant to spend 20 minutes on this and 20 minutes on trying to say what do we talk about internationalization. So that is my experience with large scale projects, the Step to Dyna and UltraCept, and the collaborative publishing, the publications, the collaborative use of facilities and data sharing. So, and what is this with international researchers? So building an international research network itself, internationalization and globalization of research activities is almost a necessity now with multidisciplinary projects. And that is why I was trying to keep on going back to what Shigan was trying to say just now, how important it's that we get expertise that might not be a homegrown, but it could be available elsewhere in the world. So that was the idea of globalization and matching up with partners that have potential expertise, required expertise. So almost a necessity now with multidisciplinary projects. Start immediately. What my advice is, start immediately wherever you are. So it's very important wherever you are, postgraduate. The reason why I say wherever you are is because when I started my my master's program, I was at University Malaysia Sarawak at that time, and University Malaysia Sarawak was just being built, and we were literally in huts. Small little huts, because the building was not built yet. So I was working on my project. So wherever you are, whether you are in a small hut somewhere, all right, think your idea and think that I need to get, what are people doing in the world for my idea? So somebody thinking the same, and so on. So, but at that point, I was very interested in computing and music. So I was interested in how do we search music. This is like talking in early 1990s, where multimedia computers were just being built or just coming in place. So computers, having computers to play your video and your audio was a big thing at that point already. So the MPCs, the multimedia PC specifications and so on. So so at that point, I was very interested in how we can, because I was having this idea, if it's I have this tune in my head, I was doing music, so I was thinking, how is it that we can get the computer to find the song and so on? So I was talking about this to my supervisor, and he said there's somebody who's working in University of Waikato, looking at possible sequences of music that can be matched in your database. So that's where the whole idea started. And as I was saying that I want, because we want to look up a theme. If I'm a musician, I must look up a musical theme dictionary to get the title and so on. So the 1990s was still text-based and looking at the dictionary and trying to find your songs. But I happen to have, so it's in a hut. I didn't, library was not really being built, not built as well. So I managed to get 3 research papers from somebody in US to post it to me. So based on that, and then that was started my whole work on music information retrieval with those few 3 papers. There was some people, a small group working in France at that time. But I'm just saying, so I still believed in that idea that we can still develop a computer-based system, because it was first, of course, encoding the whole music into the computer readable forms and so on. That was another problem at that point. Anyway, so I completed my master's thesis on locating little parts of sections of, given a little tune, how can I find it in the database? How can I find this particular, because when you sing in different pitch, when different length, of course, musically, musicians know that it's the same, but having the computer to know it's the same is different. So this, I have, and at that point, we had an external examiner who came in as well to examine from Australia. And he just said, after reading my thesis, he said, you really ought to put this thesis out on the web. So of course, me as a student, yes, and the University of Malaysia Sarawak put the thesis out on the web. And after a while, I was working in University of Putra Malaysia. By then, I got transferred to University of Putra Malaysia. I get from my computer. David Sankoff from Canada writes to me, I read your thesis on the web, and it's really good to know that, because I happen to use his algorithm. And so he wrote to me that it's from this part of the world, somebody is using the algorithm that that he had on dynamic programming and matching with different 2-dimensional matching at that point, which was pitch and rhythm. So I'm just trying to say, wherever you are, just put your work out there. So conferences, and that's how I developed my, ideas. I put this proposal when it came to time to do my PhD. I was just sending this proposal again on trying to match musical sequences and music matching. How do I, this complex perception of music, and how do we get the computer to actually analyze that, the similarity of 2 musical sequences. So I have put my proposal to many universities in UK. Some said, great, we give you a place, but Imperial College picked it up. And from there, even before I even reached Imperial College, my supervisor was asking to write a paper on my master's work, and we published, and we attended the first music information retrieval conference at that point in the world, actually, at Plymouth, Massachusetts. So from there, my work as well, because it happened to be, however crazy or whatever ideas you have, put it out, propose, and work. But I always say, of course, you need to balance between the heart and the head. All right. What is this? Work, whatever ideas, formulate, put the proposal, and put it out there. And that's what I mean by start immediately wherever you are, whether you're in a hut, small hut, sitting down there. If your idea is good, somebody will hear it and it will go up. So conferences. So from there, I went on to do my PhD, as I said, in UK, and attended many conferences and research activities at that point as well. Shazam was coming up with Shazam, was the originators of Spotify and so on. Shazam was at Baltimore as well with me, the first time with audio fingerprinting, and also, and then I said, there goes my PhD. I'm trying to do here, how do we match musically 2 sequences? But anyway, conferences and talking to people and research activities, that is important as well. So that started off a lot of my international collaboration as well. Somebody, as I said, continue working and publishing and talk to people about what your ideas are. That's important. So international funding agencies also start immediate, keep on browsing, keep on looking it's on. All right, so another thing I would like to highlight, I'm just going to say, I said 4:08, I said 10, 20 minutes, all right. Building and maintaining during a pandemic was another, what is this new normal that I had to face, especially when, when we were actually working on such a large collaborative project. And I'm an advocate of you going to conferences, meeting people. So how do we do this? So that was a little bit of change of my strategy of working and collaboratively working with international researchers and meeting during conferences and inviting them back to UPM and giving talks and so on. So, but new normal still possibly moving away. I think with a lot of you out there right now already are working on webinars and profiles and so on. So I think I need to move as well from the advocating the face-to-face networking, attending conferences physically. So another thing that you need to do is do a lot of attachments. This is what I've been doing. Of course, the very first one was in 2000. I was in India as well for the faculty industry program. That was to teach the trainer, teach the trainers. So that was how you all meant, what is this meant? Because that was to reduce the academy industry gap. So we were sent to Satyam Learning Center, teaching Java and so on, how the projects are real life projects and so on, which is industry related. So that was brought back to UPM. And then I went to Knowledge Media Institute as well, KMI, and my supervisor, who was my PhD supervisor, was already in KMI by that time. Chat, there was a chat. Okay, time for session 3. Okay. All right, feedback. All right, anyway, I'm just looking at the chat in case I missed something. So just to say that even in KMI, you will see that I have written a small poster as well, if you look up at the web, on topic modeling of folk songs. That is because even though it was a 3-month attachment, you still keep thinking projects. So, I mean, when I went to, we didn't really have a project in mind when I reached KMI in UK for the 3-month visiting research attachment. So I happened to go for a lunchtime concert at that point at the uni itself. I'd say, oh, no project in my head. And so I just went into the chapel or church, but it was just a musical concert. And they were having folk songs. So I was thinking about English folk songs. And then I was just during lunchtime, how do they index these folk songs? How do they categorize folk songs? How is it drunken songs or whether it is love songs? Because we have done a lot of genre classification and so on, pop, rock, and so on. But this was what is this, Old English and so on. So within the 3 months, even though I was with that little short time, we did topic modeling of English folk songs. I ran to London to the English Folk Dance Society and say, how does Cecil Sharp index it? How do you do it? There was how do you categorize? So we did a lot of work, but within 3 months, I think a poster was presented because I had to leave. My supervisor presented the poster on the semantic network meeting there. But I came back and did some small master's projects with my students on topic modeling of English folk songs. How do you model with English? So we had to change the vocabulary and so on because of the English old words and so on. So just trying to say, doing an attachment, new ideas, and some of it can be what you're working on, but you can create new things. And this is where I was talking about when I went in as a visiting researcher and finally as a visiting scholar at University of Lincoln, where I'm a research fellow now. So a little bit on where I started. So from my music retrieval until one student comes to my room and says, oh, after all, heart sounds are also music. So that started with my projects on heart sound information retrieval. Lots of projects came from there. And again, lots of conferences. So that one was computing in cardiology, going into hospitals, collecting, because again, heart sounds, no data. Again, I don't know, again, sometimes too early, the ideas, again, this was in 2010, where heart sound retrieval was just beginning, and digital stethoscopes and so on. So in Malaysian hospitals, trying to collect the heart sounds, digital stethoscopes, the fan sound, the organ sound. Then we had another project on segmenting the sounds and so on. So a lot of projects from my music to health, and as I said, it moved on to what we're doing now, which is so. But early international collaboration, MOU, again, I keep on emphasizing, when you talk to international researchers, it's you're not talking on your own, you're representing your university. So you always need to have some kind of memorandum agreements between the universities, especially for data sharing and IPs and so on. So this was the first MOU because this was with Professor Sally Joan Cunningham, whom I always met year after year in the music information retrieval conferences. Then we were still continuing our relationship after I finished, and they were very keen to continue collaborating with my work and so on. But however, that we were thinking of writing a collaborative grant discussion, but it ended up with discussion, and we ended up doing more talks and workshops. For those who remember the Weka and the first one of the early data mining workbenches, Weka and Professor Ian Bitton, who came to UPM and University of Malaysia, gave workshops, because at that point data mining was before extensive machine learning took place. But the Weka workbench developers, we were collaborating with, giving workshops on how to use with our staff. So I had undergraduate students going on short-term attachment to their machine learning lab there for 2 weeks. And they had the Greenstone digital library project for multimedia digital libraries. So they learned basically how to index multimedia data. So we were doing a lot of exchanges and workshops rather than, and we were looking at having one collaborative grant, but after a few years at that point, I was also very busy with, again, those few, the projects that was in Malaysia already, with Malaysian grants. So that was the early discussions. That took, the reason why I discussed that was because just to highlight that these are friendships that you make if you go to the particular conferences year after year. You meet the same people. If you are so maybe that's where the networking comes in, and then you can. And for me, it ended up with the MOU between the two universities and student exchanges. So continuing, as I said, it's not just when you collaborate. Sometimes it has to be collaborating with people that you know after for quite a while. Actually, year after year, people know your work, know you, because sometimes. Yes, we can apply, but if you are actually working together on projects, we all need to know that we all will deliver, and we will, because then the project's deliverables are not completed, and then your reputation as well is destroyed and so on. All right, so anyway, so I'm just going to go through some of the international funding agencies' proposals submitted. So I've gone through some with the medical faculty while I was during my sabbatical. The medical faculty was looking for partners. How do this work? When we do international grants, there are two ways. You have a proposal and you need an international partner. So you come up with a proposal and partners. Then we have co-funding, either funded by the external international organization or co-funded and so on. So there are two ways. Of course, the other one is if the proposal is already put and you are actually looking to work with other people's proposals. So I think everybody knows that already. It's either your proposal or you're working on other on somebody else's proposal, and it's been advertised. So for this, they had the medical faculty from University Putra Malaysia approached me, and they said that, can you help us find, because we wanted to do with multimedia and multimedia data, image data, and medical data, and we need an international partner to work on. We want to work on the Newton funds. So the other one, so the first one failed a little bit. So I just going to put in. So I think the first Newton funds. Okay. So this is the Newton fund. Put this. This is for just to, because we have, of course, the Malaysian one. I just wanted to say that for you all from India, you all will be looking at this. So the Newton fund, again, this is another one that you all can look at. And let me just stop share. I meant to put the Malaysian one, British Council. I don't know how it went there. Okay, wait, sorry. Okay. I don't know why the link is gone again. Okay. So stop share. Okay, wait, I have to put the link. But because I was just trying to show you that from the Malaysian perspective, how we applied for that. Yeah, so from the Malaysian perspective, this was about the Newton Fund. We had applied for this. So some of the programs. So I'm just trying to say I can only talk from the Malaysian perspective, Malaysia industry, government, and so on. Where this is one possibility as well for you all to look at. So this was the first grant we applied for between the medical faculty. And my faculty of computer science, UK, they had two other partners that we were working on. We worked with and we submitted, but this was not successful. So following this, then we looking at UKRI, Medical Research Council, because it was a medical project, was also not successful. So as I said, you can look up Newton India as well. I'm sure you all will know all your funding agencies, but looking for partners and so on. So for us, of course, is looking at some of these particular areas. So that is one avenue that we tried, and then we looked at UKRI. And as I said, the third one, so it's a lot of attempts. The first one with Newton, the second one with UKRI, which was not successful. Then the final one, which was the Erasmus, which was just on medical, medical health learning informatics. So that with the Erasmus, it went through, but as I said, I was working on the other projects. So it's various projects that we keep trying, and something comes, you have to keep trying and looking for partners as well. So this was, so that was, yeah. Okay, I hope I'm the correct one. So the other UKRI, you can look up as well, but I'm just trying to, you can look up UKRI. I think I'm not going to attempt to try to open up any more external links. So look at UKRI, that was the other website that we looked at, we had submitted. But I'm just trying to say with UKRI as well, you can look, for example, some of the, I'm just trying to highlight here, there were some projects that it invites international participants. For example, I was trying to get this link. What is this that shows that any participant from the world that can apply on AI to work in UK. And then there's other, this I was just trying to highlight another link just to show this was a Singapore. So there are certain Canadian, UK, Singapore, UK. So looking at particular specific projects. And then of course, the last, the one that I've been working with is MSCA. So some of these websites, you can look it up already. So I'm not going to again toggle between these two. Okay, but I'm just trying to show some of these over the years. That was my impacts, my query by humming system, where I was trying to sing to the computer. Hey, look for this. So that was my query by humming in 2007 in US, Malaysian. And so these are some of the international, what is this, exposure that went through these projects on, I want a music friendly. Why should I, what is this, type in my query? I want to sing my query. I want to play my query. But this was all new at that point. So that gained a lot of impact and attention. So these are some of my talks as well that was given following this. That is why the last part of the talk, I was saying that I will highlight on the more current talks that I've given on MSCA. But here, I think for this, because I spoke of this, this in particular, if you really want to see, I think again, I'm going to just try and see last attempt for toggling. But I think this website is important if I'm just following up on what I just said. Okay, the MSCA staff exchanges, which is what I was talking about. So the whole thing, how to build, I think it's important that because Marlene was the person who was in charge of this, and Suzanne, I don't know whether it's going to work if I call another YouTube, but this will be an important link.
I'm inviting our first speaker, Marlene Bartz from the European Commission, to share her presentation. Marlene, please.
Thank you, Susanna. Thanks for the welcome and thank you for the invitation. So it's actually good morning from Brussels, but I guess good afternoon to most of you.
Okay, so that was an important link. If to follow up, as I said, for agencies, my task today was to talk about collaboration, international collaboration, how you do it, start from where you are, basically to agencies. I only talked about the 3 agencies that I actually have applied for, the Newton Ungkul Omar, and the UKRI for the under the Medical Research Council, and the MSCA. So this was the last one, MSCA details, and lots of grants that are from there. And you can look up funding and funders, PhD opportunities, postdoc opportunities, which I'm sure all of you are already browsing if you're looking at. So I am not very familiar with from Australia or US, but more Europe and UK. So I think I'm just sharing what I have collaborated with. So conclusion, yes, it's 27. Conclusion, students, attachments, internships, important, look up, international collaborations, faculty, what I did was visiting scholars, sabbaticals, staff exchange, conferences. This is my advice. I've shared what can be done. Research scholars, postgraduate PhD opportunities, postdoc opportunities, research fellowships, collaborative publications. I put a full stop there in case I forget. Collaborative publications are also very important because sometimes people you talk with say, hey, let's write a review paper first. All right, so that could be they get to know you, you write a review paper, for example, as I said, let's just do a short paper. For example, I said topic modeling on folk songs. Okay, have you got the data? Just write a simple paper together and then see how it goes. That's another way of starting off the collaboration. Do some simple reviews or collaborative short papers if you have the data and so on with an external partner. So this is my conclusion for international collaborations. I hope that's thank you in Malay, terima kasih, from me from Malaysia on my experience for international collaborations for the MSEA. Thank you very much. If there's any questions, thank you again for the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you so much for being here and addressing our audience. Definitely, they must have gained so much on international collaboration. They must have understood that from where and from how they are supposed to, if they are really interested in international collaboration, how they must go forward to it. Thank you so much for sharing such huge set of links and the knowledge and the videos that you have played. These are all very informative. And I'm sure not these participants, the other participants also, like who will be watching you on YouTube, would be referring this video, I'm sure. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Apologies for all the little glitches here and there, me toggling. And thank you.
Not at all, ma'am. Not at all. No need to apologize. Your presence is more than enough for us. And even if you have taken more time, we would have been so patient. Our audience is very patient. They all were listening to you nicely. You can see the feedbacks that we are receiving. For these 5 days, FDP, we have received more than 1,100 registrations.
Wow.
And it was in such a short span of time. And I'm sure if we would have collaborated earlier, so the numbers would have been more than that. And everyone is thanking you so much because the information that you have shared is not available so easily. It is not available, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah, can start small, can start big.
Thank you, Professor.
Always somebody's there listening. That one person. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay. Can I leave? Is there any questions? If not, can I leave now?
We can ask if someone has any question. We can ask them to write in the chat window. So I'll just take a minute.
Yeah.
Yes, participants, if you have any questions for Professor Shyamala Doraisamy, you can post your questions in the chat window and we will take it one by one. I think the talk was completely self-explanatory and there is no question. Everything was very well, very nicely you have explained, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
The pleasure is all ours, ma'am. The pleasure is all